1995, our government funded a project to build little workshops. You go through the entrance there, it's not open yet, is it? It'll be open shortly, and you can go through into the courtyard behind. Well worth the visit. Thing, but we would like to see you back on the coach here in an hour and a half.
If any of you want to say hello to your family or friends back home, just come up to me and we'll do a little video. Okay, and just so you can say hi to your grandkids and name them off or whatever you want. So come on up anytime today and grab me and we'll do it. One of the most impressive castles, maybe the most impressive castle in all of Ireland. I think so. And there's Rex. The way it has been founded from the first century. So we realized there was a problem with the issue of worship, and we didn't realize what it was until we started to study and do our homework and realized that worship always had to have sacrifice. Sacrifice was always involved, and the Catholic Church had retained that from the very beginning because she had the holy sacrifice of the Mass. The second issue was an issue of who interprets the Bible. I love the Bible. I had loved the Bible since I was 17 years old. Even the first day of school at 17, when I went that first day, I didn't have books of algebra and English literature under my arm. I had 2 or 3 different New Testaments and a Greek New Testament with a lexicon, and I was trying to teach myself the original languages of the Bible. I always loved the Bible, and I wanted to know what it meant, and I memorized whole books of the Bible. I had memorized all the first 5 chapters, the first 5 chapters of the first book of Peter, and a lot of others, and I loved the Bible. But the more I studied and learned it, especially as I got older and began to teach the Bible, and found that among all of my evangelical friends, we couldn't even agree on what the Bible meant. Who is the final arbiter or judge of the Bible, of the interpretation? For example, should you baptize infants? Yes or no? Well, Janet's tradition, Presbyterian, says yes, you should baptize infants. The Anglicans say yes. Many of the traditions say yes, but Baptists and Assemblies of God and all the others like that said absolutely not. That's an unbiblical, man-made tradition. So who is the final judge? Because all of us went to the Bible to prove our points. And you have 40,000 different denominations in the world today, all using the same Bible, claiming they have the same Holy Spirit interpreting it for them. And yet we come up with 40,000 different interpretations and competing ideas and denominations. All right, so does God not have an opinion? Does God not have a final word on this? Well, yes, but how do we know what God says? What's in his book? I know it's in his book, but who interprets the book? No one. Everybody interprets it for themselves. That's the principle of Martin Luther. You interpret the Bible for yourself. Well, what happens when you do that? Martin Luther didn't want the Pope, so he threw the Pope away and didn't realize that when he did that and opened up the Bible alone for everybody to read and interpret, when he threw away one Pope, he created 1 billion new popes. And I realized that I was Pope Steve and Janet was Popist Janet. And we basically had to study and read and come to our own conclusion what every doctrine meant, because there was no official teacher in Protestantism.
I can do better than this, and so that's what started me. And I started with 6 women, and started teaching. And I was listening to Scott Hahn tapes, and then trying to teach. And then I was calling Catholics United for the Faith every week to make sure before my lessons that I wasn't saying anything that was against the teachings of the church. Made sure I had all my facts right. And so I started this, and then soon after I got in touch with the website where they were showing, had some of Scott Hahn's Bible studies that they were trying to do online. Long story short, they ended up asking me to be the Bible study coordinator on this website.
What's happening, or how are you happening, or how are you keeping? So we're saying how you doing.